if it's a voice over IP, you can actually get software from AT&T or Verizon that you can install on your system that will also block these calls. I haven't done that yet, but I know that that is available as well. But I think my guess would be, because it's been forwarded to your cell phone, the cell phone doesn't really know where this call came from. So Hire would still probably pick it up and can it if it's junk, right?
Okay.
If it's a new number now that got through to you, let's say you didn't answer it and they left a message saying, you know, this is IRS calling, or this is Microsoft calling, or we're trying to sell you Medicare supplement or some junk like that, you can now report that number, right? So basically, if you look at my phone, you can see in the middle at the top here, there's one little line that says report. You see this line over here?
Okay.
It says report.
Report.
Can you see it? So what I do is I press that. I press that, say press report, and it comes up with a little screen that says, what kind of scammer is this? And it gives me some options: general spam, telemarketer, debt collector, fraud, you know, one of these real scammers, and so on. Political, if you don't want to get political calls, and so on and so on and so on. It's got a whole lot of lists there. You can just press one of them, and now that guy goes onto the big list. So you have done two very good things. First of all, you stopped them from calling you again. But because it's gone onto the big database in the internet, up in the sky, so to speak, in the cloud, that guy now will never reach anybody else who's got Hire. So if I blocked this guy yesterday, as I did, he will not call he will not successfully call any of you if you've got Hire. Isn't that fantastic? So basically now, we as a group are protecting each other. I'm protecting you, you're protecting me, and a million other people, we're all protecting each other. As soon as one of us reports this as a scam, he's never able ever again to call any of us. Isn't that cool? I love that, you know, because not only have I done a good thing for myself, but I protected all my friends and all my Benson students and everybody that I know. In fact, I protected a million people that I don't even know, because they've all got it. And our friends, Mr. Scammer, is never going to be able to get through to any of you again. So by me blocking that call yesterday, this guy's toast. And you can see now on my call list, the second call, you can see the no entry sign. You see the no entry sign next to this guy here? There's like the circle with a line through it that says, this guy's done, right? And so I love that, because every time I block one of these calls, I know that I'm stopping a whole lot of other people that are going to get the same call. So now the thing that these guys do, because it's, you know, these numbers are faked, is you can be sure that they keep changing their number, right? Now the number that you see, like I said, is faked. So if they didn't get through to you on one number, which is a 202 number, next week they'll be calling you on a California number or some other number entirely. That doesn't matter. The fact is that we don't answer it, so we never get to know them, right? You know, they never get through to us. But as soon as we do look and we see that it's a scammer, we press one button, literally press one button, and that number is now toast. Okie doke.
Question. I came in late, but are you saying Hire is software for the smartphone?
Yeah, sits on my phone.
So how do I get it on there?
How do you get it on there? You download it. So go to the, do you have an
app? Like an app?
iPhone? Do you have an iPhone or an Android phone?
Android.
Okay, so you go to the Google Play Store, which is where all the software is.
Okay.
In the search bar, type in HIYA, Hire. It'll pop up, and you click on the button and download it, and you're done. Right?
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
There's literally, other than to install it by pressing the button, say install, there's nothing to do. You don't have to teach it. You don't have to give it your name, your number, nothing. It figures it all out itself, and it'll sit there quietly in the background and work and do your work for you, which is wonderful. It's a great piece of software.
Thank you. Good.
Okay. Right.
Jeff, can I ask you a quick question about Haya?
Somebody have a question?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you a quick question. I
Sure.
downloaded it. There's a free plan that says identify spam calls and businesses. And then there's a monthly subscription, block spam calls and identify people and businesses. Which one is better?
Sorry, just say that again.
One is identify spam calls and businesses. That's the basic plan.
Right. It's the one you want to block them. Right, you want to block them. Right.
Okay.
Ideally, you want to block
There's a
the call.
premium plan that I think you were referring to that costs $3.99 a month.
There we go. So they put it up a little bit now. I think when I bought it, it was like $2.50. So it's now $4 a month.
So
You know, it's really not a lot, and you know, you don't need it. It's not essential, but I find the $5 there just gives me peace of mind, right? So I recommend it. There are others which may be a little cheaper, though these all tend to end up more or less the same. So you can you can Google block spam calls or block robocalls, and you'll find a few other pieces of software. I've just been using Haya for probably 3 years now, and it just works great. The number of times that a call actually gets through to me, I think it's possibly once or twice a month. And of course,
Okay.
if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer it anyway, right? So they are just not going to get through to me.
Yeah. I think what she's saying is there's two plans. There's a basic and a premium.
Yeah.
Which one should we get?
What are the two prices?
I think the basic is free and the premium is
Yeah, I think the
$4.99.
basic, I think what they've done is the basic just tells you this is a bad number, right? This is a scam.
Right.
That's maybe fine in most cases, right? But the $4 a month one does that automatically. It detects that it's a scammer and it blocks the call. And it also allows you to block calls. So I guess the free one doesn't allow you to block this guy so that he doesn't call anybody else. So that, I think, is the great thing, is that when I press that button, I'm protecting you as well. And when you hit that scam button, that guy's not going to get through to me, right? So, are we stopping them entirely? No, because they just keep changing the numbers. They got millions of numbers and they'll keep changing the number. We're just making it harder and harder for them. And more to the point, we're stopping them from irritating you, right? So that guy who called you yesterday will never call you again, right? Or even if he called me yesterday, he's not going to call you, because your Haya will now know 971162345 or whatever the number is a scam number. It goes in the database, and that number is now toast. Another call that you get, it may be an email, or it may be a call you get from, let's say Jenny or somebody, which may be somebody. There's background noise. If you can just put you just mute your microphone, please, wherever that phone call was coming in from. You get a call or an email from, say, a family member, maybe your grandchild or other close relative, somebody we're really worried about. And you get this: help, I'm on vacation in Paris or London or Singapore or wherever, and I got mugged yesterday. I'm okay. They took all my belongings at gunpoint, but they took my cell phone, my passport, my credit card. Please help me to get back home. Send me just $500 or whatever the amount is, $1,000, and I'll pay you back when I get home. Now, of course, this sounds exactly like your granddaughter or your son or somebody you know. So what happens is, oh my God, our hair gets on fire, and we stop thinking because, my granddaughter's in trouble, right? And we all kick in immediately. Notice, remember I said, know your weakness. So here, the fact that you love your children or you love your grandchildren, that's a good thing. These guys have found out it's to be a weakness, and they're going to use that weakness, is that if they can get you to stop thinking just for a few minutes and You say, well, it's not a lot of money. It's only $500 or whatever. I mean, I don't want to lose $500, but I don't want my granddaughter to be stuck in, you know, Istanbul or somewhere. Clearly, you know, they're using your own empathy for your family or your friends against you. Basically, you know, Jenny is quite safe, hasn't been mugged. Crooks have just planted malware on her device if you got an email. So the email may have come from her. Either they're faking her email address or they've put bad software on her computer, which is sending this kind of garbage out to everybody, you know, in your name and address list, right? Or even Facebook profile. So basically, you know, delete the email or hang up, although really you should not have answered the call at all. But even, you know, if you're even a bit persuaded this might be true, ask the person about, like I said before, detail, some family event, something they could not find out on the internet. You know, when did grandma turn 80? Or, you know, when was your birthday? You know, if this is Jenny, my granddaughter, all right, Jenny, tell me your birthday, right? And if they don't know, you know, what day is their birthday, clearly it's a scam, right? So, you know, again, notice that I use this one as an example, that they're playing on our feelings. That's what they're very, very good at doing. They're playing on the feelings, right? Or you may get some guy calling you, say, hey, I'm Sergeant so-and-so from the Singapore police, and we have your granddaughter here, but there's no way she can get home. She needs $500 to get home. But this is, you know, Sergeant Smith from this, you know, the London police or the Singapore police, and he's there to help you. Well, of course he's not. He's just a crook, and the whole thing is you know, a load of lies. Now, I want to let's talk about this one, and then I'm going to go back to emails in general. Okay, so you get a message that pops up very often on your computer. It looks something like this: action required, threats detected, blah blah blah. You've got, you know, something, we've detected a virus on your computer, and very often you'll have a noise going that you can't stop. You can't close this thing out. And there's a number there. Call tech support, 1-888-709-5348. This is an actual one, right? Now that number, 1-888-709-5348, is not going to go to some technical support in Seattle or New York. It's a fake number that's going to go to some guy in, you know, wherever on the other side of the planet. And they're going to be very nice, and they say, yeah, we've detected it. This is a terrible virus you have on your computer. It's going to destroy your computer, and it's going to eat your socks. Right? Well, they don't say that, but that's about the only thing they don't say, right? People get, oh my God, right? I don't understand this. Remember I said last time, or when we started, know your weaknesses. So our weaknesses are we're empathetic, which should be a good thing, but they use it against us. Another weakness they know is that we seniors mostly don't know a lot about technology and computers and stuff like that. And so the, you know, they can tell us stuff that isn't true, and we may well believe it, right? So there's no way that anybody else could know if you had a virus on your computer. It's not possible. Any more than I know, you know, what color the pillows are in your bedroom, right? Unless I get into your house. But from where I am here, I can't tell that stuff. Or what color soap you have in the bathroom. I don't know that. But they're telling you, we know you have red soap in the bathroom, and that's a dangerous thing. Well, it's not as ridiculous as that, but they're telling you have a virus on your computer, right? Bottom line, you know, and it's also very often a phone call or an email from Microsoft or Google that they've detected a virus on your device. I had a call just a few weeks ago from a friend who said, you know, I got this thing, what shall I do? And my answer was, hang up the phone if you're on the phone, or delete the email. Just delete it, right? Don't even look at it. Bottom line, it's going to cost you. So either they're going to charge you, you know, $99 to do absolutely nothing because you don't have a virus on your computer. Or what they did to a friend of mine is they said, well, you know, this is a very technically complicated thing. So we need to put a small piece of software on your computer so we can look and find the virus and get rid of it, which is actually what the real guys do, right? So, you know, if you ever did speak to, for example, Microsoft, and there was some kind of problem with Windows, they would download a piece of software that allows them to find the problem And then after they go on, they take the software away. No one else can get back in your computer. Obviously, these guys are not doing that. So that little piece of software that they're going to download on the computer now allows them to have control of your computer. They can look through all your email. They can look through all your files. They can, look at all the websites you've been to. They can look at your social security details. They can look at your spreadsheets. You really don't want to do that. Either way, this is going to cost you money, right? So again, be aware of these kind of scams. Don't fall for them. Now, just 1 second. Let me go back a little bit here. So I want to take you back to this slide that I had last time. Remember, I said, remember this clever guy, Sun Tzu, the guy who wrote the book back in the 5th or 6th century BCE. He wrote a book called The Art of War. It was for generals, for military. It basically said, if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Know your enemy and know yourself. So what I've been trying to teach you here is know yourself. So even the good things about you, these, pardon the expression, bastards will use against you, and know what the enemy can and cannot do. So, we read lots of articles that say, people got hacked. We read this every day in the paper, right? So I want to say to you that this phone here, nobody can get into. Nobody. Not the Russians, not the North Koreans, not the hackers. So is that because I'm heck of a smart and I've got a big steel, cage around my phone? No, it's just that nobody can actually get into your phone or your email or your computer in general, unless you let them in, right? You have to let them in. In other words, I can't break into your house. But if you leave the front door open and go away for a week, assuming you could do that, or you just leave the front door open and you go to Kroger, while you're at Kroger, the front door is open, I'm going to get in your house and I'm going to rip off your TV set, right? But if you didn't do that, if you locked the door, you locked the front door and you locked the back door, that's probably not going to happen, even in today's world. So we need to be sure we never let them in. So how do we let these guys in? Well, we've seen one way. You answer the phone, right? You answer the phone, and basically that lets them in, because now they've got a contact to you through your ear, right? And they will inveigle themselves into your trust, okay? They will inveigle themselves into your trust. There's no question about it. And like I said earlier on, they're very clever. They know how to work on our strengths and our weaknesses, that we love our children, we love our grandchildren, we're scared of viruses because of all of what we read. They prey on that kind of stuff, okay? But their primary way of getting to you, the primary way they get to you, come on, there we go, is through email, right? So let's talk about email. Let's talk about email. Everybody knows what email is. It's ubiquitous. I'm just going to run through this very quickly. There are about 4 billion email accounts in the world today. That's about, with an average of 2 accounts per user. So most people have more than one email address. There are billions of email. The last 2 lines there, 260 billion emails are sent and received each day. There's only 7 billion people on the planet. So how could we possibly send 260 billion emails a day? It's not possible. Well, it is possible, because many of those emails, the statistics I see, 50% of it is what we call spam, or more correctly known as UCE, unwanted commercial email. It's emails that relate to a business. They're trying to sell you something, or they're trying to scam you, but it's unwanted. I never asked for it, never wanted it. So first of all, remember the rule: if it seems to be good to be true, it probably is, right? Nobody sends you an email offering to give you $10,000, or the latest one that's going around right now, of course. But what's happening to us right now? We're worried about the virus, COVID-19. We're all stuck at home. So there are thousands of emails now going out saying, we're looking for people to work at home and we'll pay you $1,500 a month and you only have to work, 4 hours a week. And people are falling for this, right? But basically, what they're trying to do is they're either trying to get to know you and get access to your assets, or the worst one is they say, I saw one the other day, work from home, okay, put you through a so-called test to see how smart you are, and of course you pass the test, and they say, okay, we'll deposit your salary every week into your bank account. Just give us your bank account number. So you give them the bank account number, right? You don't give them your PIN number or anything like that. Then they can now put money into your account and then ask you perhaps to transfer it out, and you become effectively part of the scam. You become a criminal. And using your bank account to what we call launder money will get you in jail as well, if and when the cops catch these guys. So be very careful of that. That's a big one going on now, because everybody wants to earn money while they're stuck at home. Don't do it. Okay, so let's talk about email in general. Just look at this pile of email of junk that came into my inbox in one day. In fact, there's much more of it. I couldn't fit it all on the screen. Cannabis chewies. We reserve this sale for you. Get your free Terminix pest control. Bladder improvement. $5,000 in as soon as one business day. A Windows deal. Refinance. Blah, 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 blah. Every possible kind of thing that they can do, right? So that sounds like a whole lot of different people writing to me, doesn't it? Lots of different businesses. There's cannabis chewables, bladder improvement, lose 9 pounds a day, printer ink, get $5,000 in one business day. But if we now look at the left column, you'll see something very interesting. In the left column, we see the actual email address, the sender. Who did it come from? And you'll notice, let's start with the first one. You've got this first 2 words that say cannabis relief. That's just a sort of general description. It could be anything they want, so ignore it. The real email address is between the 2 angled brackets, the less than sign and the great than sign. Right over there and right over there. And in between is the email address, okay? So we've got here news C5RIG, some name, doesn't mean anything, it's probably fake, at cessweb.org. Remember that name, cessweb.org. Okay, look at the next one. Easy Canvas Prints, between the 2 angle brackets, some garbage name at, and then the name of the company that sent it, cronjob.org. I have no idea who cronjob.org is, but they're trying to sell me canvas prints. Now look at the very next one. Totally different name, at cronjob.org. These guys are trying to sell me Terminix. Read the next one. Bladder improvement, cronjob.org. Look at the next one. $5,000. Where does it come from? cronjob.org. So this is a pretty impressive company, right? They do everything, right? They do everything. Okay. Let's see down here. Blowout sale on printer ink. Where does it come from? cronjob.org. And so on and so on and so on, right? So if you look further down, there were more from cessweb.org, this one, but you can see all of these are essentially from the same fake address, right? So do you think one company does all of those things? Of course not, right? They're just sending me emails hoping that I will fall for it. So I said, yeah, here's the canned spam I mentioned to you earlier. Uncle Sam hard at work trying to fix us, right? Basically a load of junk, right? Not worth anything. So we can't depend on Uncle Sam. We can't depend on Uncle Sam to stop spam emails, and we can't depend on Uncle Sam to stop scam phone calls. Although, as of about the beginning of this year, the feds did lean on AT&T, Verizon, all the other telephone companies, that now with some calls, you'll see a red message pops up that says telemarketer, right? So yay, after all these many years where they didn't really care about you, thanks very much AT&T and Verizon and all the rest of you. Now they kind of grudgingly putting the message there. They should have done that years ago. But basically what I'm saying is we have to protect ourselves, right? So what is an email? Let's look at an email. Email is an electronic communication sent over a network, typically the internet. It contains optional attachments. So it's got some text in it, but it may have pictures, videos, files, links to other locations on the internet, all inside the email. So originally email was just text. Hi Ma, how are you doing? Signed Jeff, right? That was the original email. But email then got smarter and it allowed us to attach pictures, videos, and so on, which is wonderful. Now I can send you a picture of my children or whatever. But of course, the bad guys said, that's a great idea. I'm going to use that for my purposes or our purposes. And you're going to see what happens. So first of all, let's look at an email. An email has several standard parts, right? Okay, so here it is. The first part of the email we call the header. And most of you probably on your email have seen something like this. From, to, subject, date. Everybody seen that? It's on every kind of email, whether you're on Gmail or on Outlook with Microsoft Outlook or whatever, right? There's a from address. Who did this come from? This one came from Amazon.com. Amazon sending me something. To, there's my email address. Subject, they put something in the subject, whatever it might be. And then the date and time when the email was sent, okay? So remember those four things are in the header. So every email has this part at the top of it, which we call the header. Then the email has a body, right? And here's the body of the email. So it will have some text in, dear Jeff, blah, 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 right? This I actually got from Equifax. Remember after Equifax got hacked and they, out of the goodness of their heart, gave everybody free credit report checking. This is what came. Shame on Equifax that they lost all of our names and addresses and social security numbers and so on, for which nobody ever went to jail. Might just give you an aside on that. When Equifax, everybody remember the Equifax incident a couple of years ago. I, of course, went and did some more research on it, and I go and check out who is the person who should have been responsible for ensuring this didn't happen. And that person we call the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, a role that I've had the honor to play on a few occasions. And they did indeed have a Chief Information Security Officer, a woman whose name I forget now. And again, being nosy as I am, I go back and do a little research. So I went and looked her up in LinkedIn or somewhere to get her background. And I find out, well, you know, does she have a degree, for example? Yes, she does have a degree. She's a graduate of the University of Georgia. Wow, that's nice. What was her degree in? Her degree was in music. Now, I have no problem with anybody who wants to study music. I'm not too musical, but I can appreciate people want to study music. But finding out that the Chief Information Security Officer of a major many-billion-dollar corporation has a degree in music was like finding out that your doctor, has a BA in French. And now he's your doctor, right? You might be a little upset to find out that he or she didn't go to medical school. I had to spend many years in computer science and all kinds of other things to be able to learn enough to be a CISO. And this wonderful company had hired this, but I have no issues with the person herself. I'm sure she's a very nice person and that. But basically, it shows that he or she didn't know what to be looking for, and Equifax got hacked. But anyway, getting back to this email, so you'll see there's a lot of text there, and then you'll see that blue line in the middle. See the underlined blue line, right? Mm-hmm. And they're saying you can activate your account. That was the free credit checking and so on. Now again, this already shows how poor Equifax is, because no big company should be sending me any emails with links in them, right? Because that, when it's underlined in blue, that means it's a link to the internet, right? We call it a hyperlink. It means if I click on that, it will take me to some location on the internet. Now, if you look at it, you can tell where it's going. You'll see right after it says HTTPS, don't worry about that, / don't worry about that, trustedidpremier.com. That's the name of the company where it's going to go to. And then there's a / and some other stuff behind it, which I don't really care about. I happen to then know that Trusted ID Premier was in fact a valid website. But in many emails, you'll get this kind of link when the website it's taken to is really mafia are us, right? Criminals are us. And you probably do not want to go there. But this shows you an email with a link, right? Let's move on. So that's called a hyperlink, and it takes you somewhere on the internet. In many cases, you really don't know where it goes. So let's look at that from email address. In inverted commas here, in the red, it said Amazon.com. Now, like I say, that's kind of just the name. That could have said anything, right? So I really kind of ignore it. Then we got the two angle brackets, this one here and this one there. You see the less than sign and the greater than sign, and between those angle brackets is the actual email address. So here in green, it says store news, then an @ sign, and then Amazon.com. So the store news is usually the name of the individual or the department and set the email. So if you send me the email, in front of the @ sign will be your name, right? And then the company that sent the email for you. Could be gmail.com or earthlink.net like mine is, or AOL.com or whatever. And in this case, it is Amazon.com, right? So that could be, like I say, the name of the company, Amazon.com, or the name of the internet service provider, email.com, AOL.com, yahoo.com, and so on, okay? So can you see the three parts of the email, right, of the email address? The first one means nothing. You can put anything you like in there. So I ignore that, this one here, in front of the less than sign. Here's the name of the person or the department. This should either have, we say from Jeff, or it might say from customer service, right? Something like that. And then the name of a company or the name of an ISP. All emails are like that. So let's look at this email offer I received recently. Anybody seen one of these? Take this 30-second survey about Amazon and get great, amazing trials as a thank you. You'll get exclusive offers worth $50. Take the survey now. Anybody got these kind of emails? Right? Anybody got more than 10 of them a day? Right? What could go wrong? All I got to do is click on this and I'm going to take a survey, right? Take a survey, answer some questions about Amazon, and I'm going to get some cool stuff for $50. That is very clever. They're not offering you $10,000. You'd be suspicious about that. They're offering you $50. Well, Amazon likes me and they're going to give me $50. Sounds great. But let's look at the header of this email. Okay. From, notice those first word. The first word is Amazon. Now, most people read that and they're happy. It comes from Amazon. But we're getting smarter. We know that that doesn't mean anything. That's the one that's often in between inverted commas. So let's go and look what's between the angle brackets. So what do we see? The name of the person or the department is 5NTGC72. Garbage. Ding, ding. My first hair stands up on my head. There's the @ sign. And now the company. Now, what company should this be coming from?
Should be
Amazon.com. But it isn't. Where's it coming from? I love this one. This is a real email I got. modernstealing.com. Now, if modernstealing.com doesn't make you skeptical about this, then nothing will, right? Why do they not even bother to change it? Because they know that nobody reads it. If anybody even reads the header, they look at the Amazon right there and they say, oh, this is from Amazon, that's cool. But they could put anything you like in there. So you can see that this is a scam, right? See the scam? Aha. So notice, look at the email address. Name Amazon, just fake. Sender, blah, blah, blah. What the heck is that? Sender's domain, we call that the domain of the sender, modernstealing.com. Like I say here, don't say they didn't warn us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're right at 11 o'clock now. I'm just going to continue this. Let's do a couple more slides because we started a little late waiting for people to come in. So I'll do just a couple more slides. Let's take a closer look at the bottom line of the email, right? You see that? There are two things there. There's this box that says, take the survey now. And if you put your cursor over it, the cursor would then allow you to click on that. You're supposed to click on this box. And they also very carefully allow you may unsubscribe at any time. See the unsubscribe?
Mm.
Now, if somebody's sending you a scam email, should you unsubscribe from it?
Mm-mm.
Of course not. Because when you unsubscribe, it's like picking up the phone when they call you. When you click on the unsubscribe, what are you telling them?
Here I am.
They got a good email right here. And so they and their buddies are going to send you a hell of a lot more junk. So what's the first rule here? Never unsubscribe. Now, if you're getting emails from, I don't know, you know, Ford Motor Corporation, they're sending you ads all the time about cars, you don't want to get it. If you click on there, unsubscribe, they will unsubscribe you. Or Walmart or Kroger. I don't want to get any more emails from Kroger. Click on unsubscribe. They're an honest company. They'll take you off the list. But the bad guy, he's not taking you off his list. Quite the opposite. Okay? So don't ever click on this, right? But there's more to come. So the question is, what are they trying to do? I love this graphic. You see this graphic here? See the guy reaching out from the screen, and what's he doing? He's grabbing your wallet. That's what he wants to do, right? So what do you think? They want your browser. When you click on that link, it goes somewhere on the internet. Now, most people don't know where it's going. We've already just been fooled into thinking it was Amazon. It, of course, isn't going to Amazon. It's going to some website set up by, you know, Modern Stealing, who are in India somewhere, or China, or North Korea. I don't know where they are, but I don't want to go there. It's like I always say to my students, remember when your mommy, especially the girls, when you were little, and what did your mommy tell you? If a nice man stops his car and says, "Get in, little girl, here's a lollipop," what do? Run, right? Don't get in the car. When you click on that link, you're getting in the guy's car. You're going to his website, wherever that might be. I don't know what he's going to do at that website. The one thing I know is it's probably not going to be good for me, right? It's not going to be good for you, whatever it is. They will potentially download malware, bad software onto your device, and then they own you. Then you really will have a virus. So do you see what I meant when I said, don't let them in the door? Because when you click on that link and you go to their website, you're allowing them to do virtually anything they want, usually putting viruses on your computer. If you didn't ever click that link, how would they get a virus on their computer? A computer virus, even though the name is the same as the COVID virus, which is spread through the air, computer viruses don't spread through the air. Computer viruses spread through clicking on links. So I can't get a virus on your computer. There's no way I can do it. I can't, you know, like I can breathe on you or sneeze on you and give you the COVID, heaven forbid. I can't do that with a computer virus. I have to send you something, and then you click on a link, and then you are toast. I own you, right? See, they call this phishing, except they spell it P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G, phishing with a P-H. And you see the little cartoon here? What are they fishing for?
Your money.
The hook is right in her pocketbook, right? That's what they want to do. So, safety rules. Here's Jeff's number one rule, and you should say that to yourself over and over and over again. Never, ever click on a link in an email. Never, right? So let's say you get an email from your bank, and it says there's a problem with your account. Just click here and we'll fix it. Don't click here. Do not click. I always make the joke, and I actually used to do it when I was actually in the business, because it happened once with a guy who clicked on a link in a company and brought the whole company down, right? And I said to the guy, put your finger on the table. And he put his finger on the table. I said, I'm now going to bring my pen knife. I'm going to chop that finger off, right? Because that finger is what? That one finger brought the whole company down, right? And I don't know if you remember, about 2 years ago, the city of Atlanta, the whole city went down, the networks went down for about a month. People stayed in jail because they couldn't get to the records to let them out. People had their electricity and services cut off because they couldn't pay their bills, right? Because the system was all screwed up. Now, the newspapers are full of this. You know, we had Atlanta's been hacked, blah, 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 blah. But Atlanta, the city of Atlanta wasn't hacked. Nobody broke in and installed a virus on their computer. Somebody in the city of Atlanta, some lowly secretary or typist, or maybe even the CFO, I don't know, somebody right at the top or somebody down below got one of these emails, and what did he or she do? Click. So this device here, this is called a mouse. and this device here called the finger are two of the most deadly things that there are for you, right? Clicking with your mouse or clicking on buttons on your phone or on your touch screen with your finger, those are the things that are going to get you into big, big trouble, right? So never, ever, 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 never click on a link. If you get this email from your bank, let's say, then like I said earlier, go online or look on the back of your credit card, call the 800 number and ask them if they sent that to you. If you get an email from the IRS, they're online. You can go online to the IRS and somebody will say to you, we don't send out those kind of emails. Microsoft doesn't send those emails. Google doesn't send those emails, right? Any more than Kroger doesn't send you emails about viruses on your computer. But nobody would believe it if it came from Kroger. But because they know we seniors aren't so technically astute mostly, we think that if we get an email from Microsoft, oh my God, it's got to be a problem, right? It's got to be a problem. But it isn't really a problem. They are creating the problem for you. So no legitimate organization will ever send you a clickable link in an email. They shouldn't do it, right? They should not do it. One more. I'm going to show you one more and then we're going to break today. How about this one? Hi, Jeff Kalvarisky. Your feedback is important. As a valued Walmart shopper, blah, 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 you get a $50 gift card. Just provide Walmart feedback here. Can you see the link? The yellow box? Just click on the link. Notice the unsubscribe down below, right? The usual one. And of course, that sounds, boy, $50 is $50. You know, I'm bored at the moment. All I have to do is spend 10 minutes on a survey and I get $50. So again, we now know, let's look at the email. We'll just finish this one and then we're going to break. It comes from shipping status. Well, already that tells me what the hell has this email got to do with shipping status, right? Do you notice, right? It's got nothing to do with shipping status. It's a survey. So we look inside the two brackets and it says, blah, 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 some garbage name with numbers and letters at namecheap.com. And then the subject says, your reward might have arrived, but it doesn't make any sense because no reward has arrived. They're asking me to fill out a survey. But very often these guys just don't even bother to change the header. This header they used on some other scam, and they're using the same header on this scam. You notice that it doesn't make sense? Does everybody see that? It doesn't make any sense at all if you look at it, right? So now we've got the two links that we can click, right? And of course, we now know that neither of those is actually going to go anywhere. Let me show you this last one, and then we're going to break. This one must be legitimate, right? Comes from Facebook. It says here, it looks like you're having trouble logging into Facebook. Just click on the button below and we'll log you in. How nice of them. Now, you know, most people are not right now having trouble logging into Facebook, but some people will be. So one person, they send out 1 million of these, there'll be 1,000 people who, yeah, they are having trouble. So you click on this link and we get back on Facebook. But what do we see on the from email? It says from Facebook. Yeah, we know that's junk. It can be anything we like. Inside it says security at facebookmail.com. Well, that sounds kind of legit, doesn't it? Security, there's some security department and they're worrying about me. But where is this email coming from? Is it coming from Facebook? No, it's coming from facebookmail.com. So these clever guys set up an email called facebookmail.com. Similar to Facebook, but it's not Facebook, right? It's like, you know, I'm selling you an Omega watch, but it spells Omega with 2 M's, right? That's why it only costs $20, right? You know, you ever been propositioned by a guy in the street, you know, yeah, you want to buy this watch, it's an Omega, and you look and it's got 2 M's, right? Obviously a fake. It's nearly the same, but not quite. Now again, 99% of people are going to look at this, if they even look at the header, which many people, or most people don't. But if they do, it looks like it comes from Facebook. So all I do is I click on this button and everything will be fine. No, 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 no. Probably what it's going to do is it's going to take you to a login screen that looks like the Facebook login screen. And what do you do on your Facebook login screen? You key in your ID and your password, but it's a fake screen. So who has your ID and password now? Your friends in Kyrgyzstan. And it may not be Facebook, it could have been your bank. And they will ask you to log in and key in your, you know, your PIN number or your bank password number, a bank password. And of course, you know what's going to happen next. You know, you don't have to be an expert on that. Okay, so let's break now. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. But basically, what have we learned? Right, using phone and email, they want to connect to you. The bad guys want to connect to you. Just like in the old days, the mafia wanted to connect to you, but they had to stick a gun in your back, right? These guys don't have to use the gun. There's no violence. They're sitting quietly in an internet cafe in Ghana or somewhere. Literally, I've been scammed by people or attempted to be scammed from people, and I tracked them back to an internet cafe in Ghana. So these guys are sitting behind a computer. They don't even own the computer, right? And they're sending out millions of emails, right? So again, look, first of all, don't ever click on anything. Second of all, if you're in the least bit interested in whether this is real or not, look at the email address. Look over here. So we've seen a couple of examples. Total garbage, modernstealing.com, or something that looks like facebookmail.com, looks like Facebook. Or you may see Bank of America with 2 M's in America, or Bank of America mail.com. That's not from Bank of America. That's some scammer pretending to be Bank of America, or Wachovia Bank, or whatever you happen to bank with. Or it's, you know, the one that I've seen quite often is they try and use, for example, SSN.gov, Social Security, SSA.gov, excuse me, Social Security Administration.gov, the government. But they may create an email if the government hasn't been smart enough to register those emails as well. SSA.com looks the same, Social Security Administration. But SSA.com is not their Social Security Administration. It's your good friends in Ghana or Kyrgyzstan or North Korea or Russia or somewhere who're trying to get into your pocketbook. So notice that my contention that these guys cannot get into my phone and they cannot get into my computer unless I let them in. And I hope I proved that for you. Anybody have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Jeff.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got it now, but I've been clicking on unsubscribe. How do you undo what I've already done?
Too late.
I thought so.
I wish I could give you better advice, but you know, it's like people have had their debit cards scammed. Well, can I get the money back? No, the money's gone. Unless the cops actually catch the guy who did it, which is unlikely because he's in Mexico or somewhere, right? That money's gone. And so, you know, the worst, the only thing about clicking on the unsubscribe is you told them it's a valid email. So you're going to get more junk. They didn't do any harm. Clicking on the original link would cause you harm. So now, once you stop clicking on that, gradually they'll stop sending you, because after a while they realize a waste of time. Your email never answers, right? Or very often what these guys will do, I've had this where I saw they'd sent an email to me purporting to be from Earthlink, which is where I get my email, like Gmail. But they had not only sent it to me, they had sent it to Jeff Smith and Jeff Brown and Jeff Thomas and Jeff. They had tried every possible combination of names starting with Jeff, right? So they will do that as well, right? But most of those will not be real email addresses. There is no Jeff Smith at earthlink.net. So if I don't reply, they actually don't know whether I didn't reply or it's a bad email address. So they very often will not know the difference because they're not looking at any responses that are coming back. They don't really care. They just want you to click on the email. So you haven't done anything bad other than that you've told them you have a good email address. But hopefully if you stop clicking on any of those links, it won't stop completely because they're sending out, like we saw, billions of emails per day, billions with a B, but they can't get to you, right, if you stop doing the click. Anybody else? Any other question?
Jeff. Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
Jeff. I was a little late coming on, so is it possible I can start at the beginning where you started, go back later and look at what you have presented?
Yes, I think I set this up so that this is being recorded. So Benson will put it out on the internet, right? We'll put it out for you so that you can watch the recording. It should be recording. I set it up like that.
Yeah, it says it's recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to know about the phone and all of that stuff too.
Right. So I'll go over it again next time. I always revise every week. So next week, I'll quickly revise, especially the important stuff. But like I said in the first two sessions, I'm happy to send all of these slides you're seeing here, to every single person. All you have to do is send me an email. And so far, I've only had a couple of people send me this email. If you look here where I introduced myself in the second slide, there's my email address, right? Right now, you just write it down. Jeff_Kalvarowski. That's not a dash, that's the underscore. I'm sorry, I don't know how I landed up with an underscore, but I've had this email for so long, I can't change it now. I've had it probably for close to 30 years. At earthlink.net, not .com, .net. So if you send me an email at that address, and just refer to Benson and that you want the slides for the security session, I will send you all of these slides. So every slide you'll have, you can then read them yourself, or you can print them out and make notes or whatever. Just send me an email. You may get a response back saying, you have to identify yourself. My security on my email is much higher than most people. Don't worry about it, because it'll inform me that somebody is wanting this information, and then I can free your account to get to me, and I'll send you the information. Just in the subject line, put something like, Benson security for seniors or something like that. It makes it easier for me to see in the subject line, right? And I will then unfreeze your account, because people that are not in my address book are not allowed to send me email. That stops a lot of that spam, right? So 90% of those who try and get in, when I can see it's spam, and I just let it go, right? So if you get that, don't worry about it. Don't do anything. Don't have to identify yourself in any way. I'll know from like the subject line that you're a Benson attendee. And I promise you, within 24 hours, I will send you the material.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for attending. Keep well, keep healthy. See you next time.
All right, thanks,
Jeff. And
everybody be safe.
Once you've got my email address, if there are any questions that you're concerned about, just email me. I'll be happy to answer them if I can. And if
Can I have a quick question?
Find out. Sorry. Somebody say something?
Yes, I had a quick question.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
I open up my email, it doesn't give me like the subject and who it's from and all of that. It only says this message is from a mailing list, and it just says to my name, but it doesn't give me everything you was showing that an email should give.
Well, if they're hiding that, the source address from, they're hiding that from you already, I don't want to play games with these guys, right?
But all of them do that.
Say again?
All of my emails come through like that.
They should not. Send me when you send me your request, send me an example of one of your emails. Attach it for me, and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Every email has that information on, right?
Okay,
You may not,
I'll send you an
may
example.
not be looking in the right place, but every
Right,
email must, by definition of the way email works on the internet, have that header at the front. Otherwise, it doesn't know how to deliver it to you, right?
If whoever set it up didn't set it up with the to and the from and the blind CC or CC, that might be why she's on the C and part of it.
Well, that's right. What the scammers may often do, they're not just sending it to one person. They're sending it to thousands, maybe millions. Well, They don't want you to see a million names in the, you know, who's it's going to.
Right.
So they use the BCC, blind CC. The old CC was the carbon copy. You guys probably, like me, remember carbon, right? So we stayed in the internet age. BCC, blind carbon copy. They can send that then to any number of people, and you don't see
I have no idea.
all the other people that it's going to, right? But that should always show who it came from. So send me an email and I'll analyze it with you, and I'll show you how to find the
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Everybody be safe. We'll see you next week.
so much.
Thanks.
Stay
Thanks,
safe.
Jeff.
I hope that was useful.
It really was.
Very,
Great.
very useful.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.